Hi everyone, I'm Danielle, and my practicum was at Bridges for Women. For my practicum, I had the opportunity to work at Bridges for Women as an administrative assistant. Bridges is a specialized employment agency that works specifically with women who have experienced trauma to reclaim their lives and achieve meaningful employment. They have existed since 1988 in Victoria and also serve women in the West Shore, on reserve, and all over BC on their online program. My tasks included grant writing, assisting with volunteer management, special event planning, and general administrative duties. For my practicum case, I focused on the challenge of writing an effective grant application that would meet the needs of both the nonprofit agency as well as the funders. It's easy to get carried away when you first start brainstorming about a potential new project. You might think, finally, here's the money that I need to create a brand new project that's going to meet some service gap that we have. And then you start creating and planning and budgeting. But it's important to stop and think about what the capacity is of both the agency and your employees to implement and evaluate a brand new project. It's important to think about whether or not the amount of money is going to be proportionate to the work that you end up doing. Here are some points that I have learned in my practicum. If possible, write an application for work that your agency already does. Use creativity to make the application fit with the funder's goals. For example, if a foundation wants to fund youth-related programming, try and think about the bigger picture of what your agency does, and then write about how your service impacts youth and the community at large. Even if you only serve a specific population. If necessary, you can break your application down into 2 aspects and find alternate funding. This will increase your chances of at least finding and getting some money. For example, I broke down one large application into 2 aspects, which were trauma-informed counseling and the need for personal hygiene supplies for clients. I was able to focus on the larger grant application and talk about the core services that Bridges offers, and then as well, I was also able to find a separate donation for $500 just for personal hygiene supplies. Contact the foundation as early as possible and establish a relationship. Sometimes they will give you more details on what they are looking for, even if they don't publish that information on their website. Interprofessional practice is a must. I recommend consulting various staff members from different areas, such as clinicians or the finance department, and gain their perspective on what the agency needs most. Consider collaborating with another agency to reduce workload. Think ethically about your staff's workload and consider the ethical implications of redirecting your staff from their usual work. It's important to keep in mind what your employees are already responsible for. If you add more work for staff to do, you're going to risk burnout and staff turnover. So considering the agency and the staff members' capacity should be the first and most important consideration when deciding to plan a new program. And don't forget to learn from your mistakes. Always get feedback from a coworker. If unsuccessful, contact the foundation or agency to receive feedback on how you can improve. Always proofread. It sounds really basic, but I've seen a lot of applications with mistakes. And keep really good records of which grants your agency has applied to in the past. It makes it super helpful in the future. Also, often you can copy and paste some aspects of previous applications so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you write a new application. Thank you.
That's great, thank you. So, questions for Danielle? Dr. Hayes says we're not allowed to shout.
I'll be polite and I won't shout. Okay, so great presentation. I've done a lot of fundraising over my career, and one of the things that I found was often an interesting way to fundraise was to look for in-kind donations. And I wondered if that was something, because you were mentioning about getting supplies and so forth, and sometimes that's a little bit easier to do than to get an actual donation of money that then you can use. Unfortunately, I mean, one would like to have untied money so you can spend it on what you think are priorities. But I wondered about what your experience was in that regard.
There's a lot of that at Bridges for Women. There is a professional closet that women can go and shop for. They don't pay anything, but and a volunteer stylist that helps them choose out clothes for their job interviews. We also have a huge stock of food that's also been donated that we use to cook there or we give to the clients. And there is lots of in-kind donations as well. Yeah.
Any other questions for Danielle? Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thanks.